Hello, welcome back to my channel and welcome to my top 30 K-pop tracks of 2021. With respect to singles slash title tracks, we'll have a separate video for the top 20 B-sides that I'll be posting in a day or so after this one goes up. Thank you guys so much for supporting me throughout the year, both on here, on YouTube, and on Patreon. It's a big help. I love doing this, and even though I've had snags here and there, it's something that I would really like to continue doing at the best of my ability, as long as I've got the support and everything, and you guys have just been fantastic, so I very much appreciate it. We just hit 20,000 subscribers, and I really couldn't be happier. I would never expect this amount of support. It's only been like a year and a half that I've been doing this, so thank you so much. And now let's move on. First, before we get on to the list, let's just handle a couple of things. First off, number one, this is my list. You may disagree, you may agree. I love to hear down below if you have disagreements or agreements. That's always welcome, but this is also going to just be a list of the things that I heard. There are probably a ton of songs that would probably make it on this list had I gotten to them, but being someone who can only really watch new content when they're on camera, it is time consuming and I just miss a lot of stuff. So that is why XYZ isn't on this list and so forth. Number two, these clips might be slightly long, but I kind of like to do this thing as not just to have some itemized list, but also to enjoy these songs with you guys. I like posting this up with, as a premiere with live chat and everything, so we get to experience these songs yet again together. So the snippets can range anywhere from 25 to 45 seconds of each song with the music video, but it's to kind of for us to just engage with it. And some of you have not heard some of these, I'm sure. There could be songs here that you're learning for the first time, and it's kind of my duty, I feel like, to show these songs that are some of my favorites, obviously, of the year to you, and hopefully you get interested in not just the song but the group if you don't know them. Also, just like last year, I have limited it to one song per artist. So if they had multiple comebacks or multiple singles, special songs, what have you, I could only do one song per artist. That limits me from maybe having, it's more so I should have done this, or I did do this for the B-side, but it's important with the B-side specifically because I might have, 6 songs from one group, and I kind of wanted to show a bit of variety. So if, one song isn't here from artists, but another is, know that that song just beat it out as being my favorite of theirs. So let's kick this list off with number 30. This is one that I would not have expected to have on this list, but over the course of the year, it hasn't exactly grown on me more, but it has become more special, I think. It is a group that we haven't seen for quite a while, and some tumultuous things have happened that I see this as some kind of nice artistic swan song in some respects, and it's something that I just hold more dear because of that. Idol's Hwa is not the song that I was expecting when it dropped. Part of their I Burn album, this one has a bit more of that artistic leaning, both visually and sonically. It is a gorgeous MV with a really beautiful choreography. Hints of a lot of traditional elements, but also, like I said, this somewhat being a mixed feeling kind of track based off of what's going on with Soojin, and that still being kind of an unclear situation, and I don't know how that's going to be resolved in the end of things. But this dropped in January of 2021, I'm pretty sure, if I recall correctly, something like that, and this is the last thing that we've really heard from Idol as a full group, basically. So it does hold some special value for that, but also I just kind of like the risks that they would take. Now, Idol's title tracks might not exactly be hard-hitting, but they're very empowering, very attitude-driven, and I think they all kind of have that theme, whereas Hwa really does stand out as a different kind of expression to them, so I also give them points for that, for just having that kind of versatility. I don't really get sick of the entrancing harmonies, that a mini high note leading into the final chorus, and the ending of the track kind of just sudden, very sudden, and people were taken aback by that, but I kind of appreciate it the more that I've listened to it in that respect. Now, speaking of entrancing melodies or instrumentals, I feel like number 29 is really the epitome of that. Now, I was right on board when Enhypen debuted with Given Taken, but I feel like they've really come into their own with Drunk Dazed. The MV really works well in tandem with the song, with it depicting them at a college party and you having that kind of split meaning between getting intoxicated off of alcohol, whatever substance you may be taking at this party, and then it correlating to their storyline with them as vampires. I think it's them kind of indulging in their power, in their, I guess, maybe lust for blood, or just the strength that they have at such a youthful age kind of thing. It's just enjoying themselves, and that kind of hazy look to the video and the song as it kind of rides the scales and just flows in a way that really intoxicates you as you listen to it, makes it very addicting, super repeatable, and something that I really don't ever get tired of. Next up on the list is a group that I've learned a lot more about this year. Still so much to learn from them, but when it comes to what I have, it's that they're way more than what I knew. And there are a lot of groups out there to where if you know them passingly, you know their title tracks, or at least some of their title tracks, you think you have an idea of what this group is about, what they're good at, but there's so much more to explore beyond that. And I think that this was the first title track they'd had in a while that I think showed that capability that they had, their talent level. Ace's Higher is exactly the comeback I wanted from them when I learned how great they were vocally. Very, very underrated vocalists in this damn group, and I don't think a lot of people, let alone them being underrated in general, I don't think people know about how fantastic their vocals are. Chen is unbelievable. I just think that people need to explore them a bit more, as I do as well, but this song has such an amazing rise. It's two-part chorus. I'm a sucker for two-part choruses. It's just such a great energy build, and the synth track on this song is so incredibly good. It has a blend of both a really pretty song at parts and kind of like a dance track. I really do like it a lot. Maybe a sign of things to come for them, because I both like their more aggressive songs like Savage and this as well. I don't really know exactly what the total vibe of this group is, the kind of identity that they're exactly trying to put out, and maybe I just haven't explored enough into them to realize that, or maybe they haven't exactly formed that yet. But either way, I'm always going to be excited for their next release. Our next song, number 27, is bright, feel good, celebratory, and it comes from a group whose units this year I didn't necessarily love any of their title tracks, but when it came to the repackages, I feel like is where they really hit it out of the park. NCT Dream's Hello Future. This is off of their repackage, coming from what the title track previously was Hot Sauce, which really, honestly, the more I listened to that one, the less that I liked it, whereas this one, right off the bat, I knew this one was a winner. What an amazing, amazing chorus. It has that SM stamp of quality harmony chorus of all of them singing together, sounding so damn good. Haechan standing out for sure. Love Mark just going off in the dance break towards the end of this song. I mentioned in the original reaction I did of this song, and with them being in a soccer arena during it, it really feels like a track that you would listen to or that they would play alongside like the World Cup or something. It has just such a vibe of unity, and that is kind of what it really wants to portray with all the hippie love 60s aesthetic of the whole thing, the rainbows, all of it. I really like this one, and it's same with NCT 127 Sticker. I think over time I'm okay with it. I think it's an alright title track, whereas Favorite Vampire I loved way more on the repackage, way more. So the repackaged title tracks for both of these groups, or both of these units rather, I just was much more in tune with. Next up is a pretty recent song from a brand new girl group with some members from older girl groups. It seems to be a trend going on recently, but yeah, one that I didn't expect to have on this top 30 list, but the more I listened to it, the more it just earwormed into my brain, and now I can't escape it. IVE's 11 is such a fantastic debut. I had no idea there were even IZ*ONE members coming into this group after the fact. I found out after doing the reaction, but it's such a tremendous song. I love that staggered dissension into the chorus. It's very unique, very experimental, that they didn't really do necessarily a straightforward pop track. It's something that is instantly recognizable, and I think you can attribute to them, and I'm wondering if this is going to be something that they carry on into future songs. I haven't listened to anything else that they've come out with, but I really like this track. It has a kind of Middle Eastern sound to it as well in the instrumental, and yet again, like I said with Ace's Higher, second part choruses always get me, and for this one they do the great thing of cutting the chorus short with only one part in the first time that the chorus comes up, and then come on the second time you're expecting that little bit more, and they give it to you with that amazing rise and the harmony of all of them together, and it just has such payoff when you're kind of left wanting, and then they give it to you the next time around. It's such a great effect. Next up is a song that I knew I was going to like, even having not heard teasers beforehand or anything about it. You take a group I really enjoy with any kind of rock element to it, and I'm totally on board.
This time I wanna rock with you, moonlight, 이 밤에 shine on you tonight. I wanna rock with you. 그렇디랬죠. Baby who run, baby who run, baby who run, baby who run. 사라져 세상이 끝나더라도 I wanna ride with you.
17's Rock With You is like quintessential 17 with an aesthetic that I just really wanted them to do a bit more. I get vibes, at least from the visual aspect of this, from Call a bit, one of their Japanese tracks, but this song just has such amazing melodies to it. I love how Wonwoo sounds in this song. His part is like iconic. I feel like it just suits so well. His deeper tone is amazing in this, and the alternating into the chorus part, the alternating between Woozi and Mingyu is so amazing, with Woozi hitting all of those higher notes. I love how they kind of play with their voices and use an entire range vocally throughout this whole song. It has such great energy, with 17 always has, but they really do just give great vibes in this one, like very fun, and it's one that I always listen to, like when I'm in the shower after a workout. I really like it a lot. Next song on the list is one that I would not have come across if it weren't requested by somebody, so I really appreciate that, but it also proves, at least to me, the 80s throwback thing is not dead with K-pop. I mean, everyone is still doing it this year. Less than last year, but still doing it, and I'm never gonna get sick of it. I'm sure some of you might be sick of it, but I'm in it for the long haul. You was a bit tipsy. I love this song. It has those scintillating, like glistening synths. Anything synthwave, my ears perk up right away, and this one did not disappoint at all. Visually, the MV is great, just color-wise, even though a ton isn't going on. It's so playful. I love when an artist, especially a solo artist, is there alone on camera and just dancing, disregard to whoever's watching. It's just a really, really fun party type song, like going out on the town type thing, or if you're like getting ready, this is this type of song I would expect you would be playing. And I really do hope that a part of her producing a lot of stuff, that she starts to release some more music on her own. Doesn't Yua kind of look like a mesh between like Ide from Purple Kiss and Sujin of Idol? I think that she was at some point like a YG trainee or something, and thank God that didn't work out, because she would probably at this point only have at most one song released as well anyway. Speaking of solo artists, one of my absolute favorites, and when it comes to summer songs, I really wasn't expecting her to show up in any way, but really gave me, I think, the best summer song that I heard this year.
I got music for you, girl.
Alexa's Extra is such a fun song. It's a departure from what she is normally used to, doing a lot of sci-fi, darker aesthetic type songs, and this one is just so bright and vibrant and fun and quirky. It's kind of everything that I've gotten when watching her V-Lives or seeing her interviews, listening to her podcast when she used to do one with Jay of Day 6. She has that personality of quirkiness and a little weird and aloof but fun, and this video gives me all of that. And oh my god, her looks in this video, her looks in every video, but this one especially, goddamn, it's like a rave girl and a Hot Topic cashier had a baby. I'm super into it. You can really tell, I think, when an artist is having fun with their own song, when they're genuinely interested in what they're doing, and I usually always get that from Alexa. She's one of the underrated artists that I'll always champion just for how genuine she comes off. And here I couldn't be happier, because it, at the time, even though I reacted recently to Tattoo, that is now my favorite song from her, Extra was my favorite track from her. And honestly, I kind of like that departure from the really dark, heavy sci-fi stuff. I liked seeing her a bit brighter and letting her silliness kind of wear on her sleeve kind of thing. So I really liked it a lot. Next up on the list, we're back to the throwback sounds, but this one coming from pretty much yeah, one of the queens of Korea. I use Lilac, very disco, city pop inspired song that is entrancing as well. Her vocals do all of that work, along with the synths in the second part chorus that kind of reel you in. It's a song that grew on me over time. I think a lot of people aren't, I feel like this song gets criticized in some respect, or people don't necessarily love it, but I honestly really like it from her a lot. I haven't heard many city pop things from IU at least, and she has a voice that I think can fit every single style. This track is just so groovy, has such a like refreshing entry into spring type feeling. And I think that this song actually released in spring, right? Correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like it did release around that time, and it does feel like that. But in listening to it again just right now, you forget that it does have that brightness and the refreshing feeling in the first part of the chorus, but the second part, her voice gets just so airy that there's just a layer of sexiness added onto that. Her in this black dress, it's a whole experience. I really, really like this one. For our next song, we've got the first K-band on the list. This one, so impactful. It's hard to sometimes separate what songs ring true to you and are on your top list of the year when it comes to emotional songs that resonate with you and songs that are just so catchy that you had them on repeat so much. But this one is definitely the former. Happy Pala's Your Ocean is such a gorgeous song. This being an unbelievably talented and underrated group, as are most K-bands. If you're new, happen to be new just with this video on my channel, I very much champion K-bands. I come from a rock background, metal background, so I hadn't listened to much pop really before getting into K-pop. So Happy Pal is one of the groups that I've discovered over the last year or so that I just love so damn much. Hyungsang's voice is so unbelievable. I love his wails that he does. He did it at the end of that clip that I just played. So amazing. So much emotion is carried in their vocals, and I feel like Isle is just the perfect counterpart for him. I said recently in one of my reactions that I feel that they are kind of a reflection of how you deal with emotions in different periods of your life. This group having a larger gap in ages than a lot of your average K-pop groups do, and I think that just has a very unique perspective to it, where Isle is kind of a more learned pain, I guess, whereas Hyunsang is a pain that is experiencing this for the first time kind of thing. And I think this is one of those sad songs that they have of many, and that is totally my shit, like enough, that it really just shows all of that. It's very emblematic of what I normally get from their music, and I love it so much. It's just one that I can't listen to super often because it can be somewhat of a downer in some way, but this is a group that you really, really need to look into if you don't know about them yet. And now for something completely different. This song is one that I really didn't like at first, one that I didn't know how to feel about, rather. And the more that I listened to it, was the biggest grower on me of the year for sure. And I think either it was for all of you, or you hate it, or you loved it off the bat because it did insane numbers, and it's been stuck in my head ever since it dropped.
I'm on your next level, 저 너머의 문을 열어 next level, 널 결국엔 내가 부셔 next level, 코스모에 달 때까지 next level, check it out, check it out, check it out. I'm on the next level, 더 강해져 자유롭게 next level, 난 광야의 내가 아냐.
aespa's Next Level, this being one of the most popular songs of the year, and I think really just shot this group into a stardom that kind of comes with the territory when you're an SM group. I think when you're part of any of the big three, big four now-ish labels, you're going to kind of have that privilege, I think, from the beginning, but this is the one that really blew the doors open for this group and was played all over the place. And it has what I thought was really attributable to them specifically, but what I've been told and what I've learned in reacting to some older SM stuff is that it has that twist of kind of just completely transitioning into a different sounding song 2/3 of the way through, and I think they really do pull it off in this song, a little bit less so in Savage, even though I've come to love that song as well. This one beat it out though, but I thought that that kind of song structure was unique to this group, but it seems to be something that SM has done in the past and is now bringing back with aespa, their kind of experimentation roots, and they really just flourish with it. I think it works really well. It is such a catchy song. It has fantastic choreography, and the way that Winter specifically says next level, I can't get enough of, and honestly, off the bat, I felt like I had to bias her for that, but over time, it's really come to my attention that she's like my bias for a lot of other reasons too. So yeah, I really like Next Level, and I think it's one of those tracks that you're either going to love or hate. I'd love to know what you guys think down below with this one, because I feel like it's one of those songs that are on here that you guys are maybe surprised about, but I'd love to know your thoughts. Next up is number 19, and I feel like this is another song where I'd say that this is where they're kind of coming into their own. This is a song where I think shows all of their talents and kind of raise the bar for what this group can do. ONEUS's Luna is so damn good, and when I was making this video, I really saw the similarities between this song and how I feel about Idol's Hwa that I mentioned at the top of the list. It really just explores an artistic side of ONEUS that I know that they've always had, but this just takes everything to another level for me, the next level, if you will. If you have like a 10 out of 10 surefire hit when it comes to your melody for your chorus, you're gonna be a winner kind of no matter what. I honestly don't even care what the verses are like if you give me a golden chorus, and I feel like this song has that. They kind of gated at the end to give you a lot of energy with that like that slight pause with the instrumental cutting away. The cultural aspects of this song, that traditional element that we saw in Lit, which was my favorite song of ONEUS. This might have kind of usurped that role as now being my favorite ONEUS title track. I love how they added all that stuff into the song, the kind of chanting that you have in the backing during the final chorus, and how that works with their intro song, which one of the most unique, awesome sounding intro tracks that I think pairs so well with the title track. They go hand in hand with each other, and I feel like that this is kind of a coming out party for them. Maybe I feel like that this song will get them noticed a bit more for what they're capable of, even though they've kind of been killing it always. And this just barely beats out No Diggity for me, honestly. That is another huge grower on me throughout the year, and one that I listen to almost every gym session. They did like a hard concept really well too, so they're unbelievably versatile. They are the concept chameleons. That's ONEUS. Next up on the list are my boys with a song that I kind of wasn't expecting to have on this list, in all honesty, but it kind of came out of nowhere for me and really usurped the role as being my favorite title track of theirs for the year for sure, but having so many layers to it that it became kind of more than just what the song is. Stray Kids' Scars is fantastic. I really do love it, but like I said, I think it is more than just what the song is. it has this kind of look back on their career. So far, their short career, it's been, what, 4 years now? Not even 4 years quite yet. This song has just so many elements in the music video referencing a lot of their older songs. People regard this song as being somewhat of a Voices 2.0, which I don't, that's a tall order. Voice is one of their absolute best B-sides that they've ever done, but it definitely has the DNA of that somewhat. It has that triumphant, sad sound to it. It starts very empty instrumentally, being really carried by the vocals, but the energy builds. You have that glaring synth like you do in Voices. Bangchan's vocals especially sound so incredible during the chorus, and then it kind of breaks down into that solemn, slow verse again with Sunmi carrying it. And I just think it is a song that is very meaningful to Stays, specifically for it kind of speaking somewhat about their struggle, their career, the kind of journey, and it showing that in the music video itself, that it's risen above just what the song is to me and is special in that regard. Now, the other option would have been Thunderous, which I do enjoy, but not my favorite Stray Kids title track, and probably wouldn't crack my top 30. But this one, I think, is just has the meaning behind it that raises it even further. Now, actually, along those lines is also the next song, which is also very meaningful to me and its fandom, I feel like. But this one, less so maybe looking back in some ways in somewhat of a solemn way, but this being more celebratory and fun and just a complete earworm that I can't let go. Mamamoo's Mama Much. Oh god, this song was such a joy to listen to when it dropped. This commemorating their best of album, which I've only reacted to half of on Patreon. I've got to get to the second half of it. But this song feels like a celebration of Mamamoo, of the group, of their fans. It's like around the time the news of Ween came out and all of that, and I do feel like that this is just kind of like a staple track that feels somewhat almost like a fan track. I can't separate the music video from the song at all. You're doing your fingers during the AAA parts. Like it's such a feel-good song that I can't imagine what it's like for Moomoo's that have been with Mamamoo throughout their career. Me having just kind of learned about them 2 years ago or whatever it was, it's still, I get that sensation, and I can't imagine the kind of strength it has for people that have been longtime fans, and you can kind of see it on their face, the amount of fun they're having. But the song itself also rings true to like classic Mamamoo in some ways to me. There is that kind of dividing factor of Mamamoo has certainly changed in some ways in terms of their sound, but this one kind of has the funk and kind of old school throwback that a lot of the tracks of their early years did, and I just see it as very just emblematic of it's so Mamamoo, and I just really adore it. Next up for number 16 is another criminally underrated group. This girl group is just one that I wish people paid more attention to. I always liken them to Wiki Mickey a lot of the time, and I just don't think that they get the respect they deserve, nor do they get the amount of releases that they deserve. But this one was early in the year and still remains one of my absolute favorites. Cherry Bullets, Love So Sweet has kind of everything that I want out of a girl group pop song, like your quintessential K-pop girl group song. It's so catchy, it has amazing harmonies in it, with the chorus with all of them coalescing together. It's cute as shit. It has like little quirks to it that just stick in your head. You can't quit the damn song, from the whistling to their choreo with them touching their cheeks and everything, the da-das, all of it is just so addicting that it's kind of reminds me of the songs that I fell in love with that kind of got me into K-pop. The songs to where you first see them and it's something that you just can't get out of your head, and you're like, oh, I have to turn that music video back on. Oh, I have to listen to that just one more time. I don't even know if I like it that much, and then you end up absolutely loving it. Well, now that I like K-pop, this is one right off the bat that I knew I adored. And with them not having the most money in the world to do the most expansive music videos, they were also super creative, doing that kind of doorway technique and moving from scene to scene, blending them as if they're singular shots. It's all so well done. The song is fantastic, and they've got to be on this list, first of all, because I don't know how, but I totally forgot them last year with their song Hands Up. I don't know how I didn't put it on my best of list, because it deserved to be on there. I really love that song too, so please check out more Cherry Bullet. And next up on the list, I wasn't gonna have this one on here, but I'm married to this artist, and like, I don't want to have to sleep on the couch. I pretty much have to put them on here. I'm pretty much required. Sunmi's You Can't Sit With Us. This song blends like my love of the synthwave 80s aesthetic with like what I'm starting to see a lot now. I don't even know if there's a term for it. The early 2000s kind of aesthetic. If you look at like her bedroom and everything like that, being that I grew up in that era, it's hard to see it like now being a throwback retro look in some way, but it definitely meshes those two things together, and it's just absolute bliss. And having the music video, having her shoot zombies, being a badass, being very Quentin Tarantino, very Robert Rodriguez. You have all those references in the posters all over the walls. It's kind of everything that I love distilled into a video and shot up into my veins, let alone that I absolutely adore Sunmi. She sounds so great on this. She's so playful, iconic, dancing on the goddamn car, pointing and dancing along with the zombies. The only part of this song that I don't like is the really shoehorned in rap, which, she gave it her best. But the rap is not good. It breaks up the pacing of the song, and I think this would be a lot higher on my list if it weren't for that. It's something I can't get over every time I hear it, really. But even she has had fun with it and makes fun of herself for it being point and kind of just repeated lines over the fact during the rap portion. But it's still a song that I really like and has so many elements to it that feel like they're made for me. Our next song is another one that came out very early in the year and still stays towards the top of my list because it's very daring to me. This group just had another comeback recently that I have yet to check out, but I'm so interested now purely on this release. They had a decent debut, I felt, a decent debut, but this next comeback knocked it out of the damn park.
Hey, walk out. Tell me what. Nani? 누가? Tell me what. 왜 자꾸 널 깎아내려? 됐어 그만해 stop it oh no. 뱉은 말을 해봐 tell me. 너는 아직까지 또 겁나니?
P1 Harmony's Scared is such a bold song that I feel like a lot of K-pop fans will not like. It might be a little too rough for them. It has such a desaturated look. It has a real hard edge to it with these warbly synths, kind of a rawness in some of their vocals. It gets pretty aggressive. It has this kind of drudgy Eastern Bloc kind of feel to it. Like, I see some Diane Ward videos and it reminds me of this in some ways. I really love it for that. It stands out so much. I've never seen a K-pop video like this. I've never seen or listened to a K-pop song that had this kind of energy, and I dig it so much. Not only that, but if you've seen the video, you know the b-boy dance and all that, super impressive. But I remember watching the dance performance of this song, and it is fucking mind-blowing. Mind-blowing. They're incredibly good dancers, have a very second-gen hard-edge sound to them, kind of like BAP in some respect. I felt that with their debut in Siren, but this one especially just stands out in that way. And you don't hear K-pop songs like this necessarily anymore, so it's so welcomed for me, and it's one that I listen to all the time at the gym, and I'm hoping that they kind of stick with something that is this weird and not necessarily made for the K-pop masses with the song that they released recently, but I'll have to find that out soon. But yeah, P1 Harmony's Scared, super like big props to them for doing something so daring, and I still love it all these months later. That came out also very early in the year. Number 13 on my list. I don't think it's really possible for this artist to ever miss one of my top lists. If they're ever, you know, if they're making music, they're gonna be on this top 30 no matter what, except maybe, oh, people are gonna be upset, but maybe next year. I don't know if he's gonna be making music exactly, but damn, is this song good. And yeah, you can't really escape the king of K-pop to me.
더 천진하게 상상력 좀 발휘해봐 네가 쫓던 토르소를 부숴대난 이미 나도 아는 one advice I should know one advice 내 가질수록 보란듯 나가 잘봐 끝을 보길 원한다면 자극해봐 이건 너를 위한 one advice Let's take my own advice
Taemin's Advice, yeah, I really do think that he's kind of the king of K-pop in some ways. He is just the most well-rounded artist I've seen in general when it comes to just vocals, stage presence, his dancing. He has all the elements, he checks every damn box, and he never disappoints me. Everything that I've really heard from Taemin in terms of his solo releases, I've absolutely loved, and Advice was no exception, man. The dude moves like freaking liquid. He's one artist that I always, when I show my roommate every couple months new K-pop music videos that have come out, I force him to sit down. I always pump them up before I show him, and he enjoys some of them, but Taemin is always one that when I show it to him, he's like, holy shit, he really is amazing. Someone that doesn't listen to K-pop, he understands, he sees it. I really like the message of this song in being someone that pushes a lot of boundaries in the way he dresses, in a very kind of non-binary way, and he kind of crosses those boundaries, which is definitely something different when it comes from a conservative culture like Korea. And this being of the note where in Advice he's saying that he's going to follow his own feelings, his own style, do his own thing, regardless of what people say he should or shouldn't do. He's gonna follow his own path, and keep doing it, Taemin, because you're legit nailing it every single time. Next up on my list, number 12. God, I love this group. I really enjoyed their title tracks, obviously, because one of them makes it to number 12, but when it came to the B-sides, man, if I didn't have this one song per artist rule, this group would have maybe 7 songs on that top 20 B-side list. They are so good, and I swear to God, you really, if you've written them off based off of their title tracks, but I don't think are bad, in my opinion anyway, please look into them more because they're friggin' amazing. Purple Kisses Zombie, what a treat of a song. After releasing Ponsonia early in the year, they had a dark aesthetic to them, something very cult-like, which I've waited for forever, and they nailed it with that. But then we got a really hyper-pop, neon pastel aesthetic of zombies. So it was the like complete opposite of what we really were expecting from them, and I think they killed it because this group is incredibly adorable. As much as they can be fierce, they're super adorable as well. They're all so damn talented, amazing vocalists. You look at Yuki here. Yuki is blossoming before our eyes. This girl is 19 years old. She is Japanese. She's speaking her second language, writing her own stuff, and she's still a better rapper than 50% of the people out there. She just started. And you really see her growth along with the rest of the group. This song has a lot of layers to it, a lot of quirkiness, from Swan's Fire to June and Ide always killing it in their parts. It's just a really fun track, and I think there's more to it than people see when they first listen to it. It's something that I think over time you can pick apart a bit more because there are just a lot of fun attributes to the track. And can we talk about Chan at the end? The way Chan rolls in there, good. I could watch that on loop for hours. Totally not my bias. Definitely not my bias, I swear to God. But still, one of the best parts of the MV and the song in general. Purple Kiss is an incredible group. I knew that they would be just right from their pre-debut stuff. And honestly, I think they're so talented that if you don't already know about them, you will very, very soon. Now, next up on the list, one of the hardest working groups in K-pop, the group of Korea, basically, and I cannot wait to see them in a month. Twice is The Feels, their first full English track, and they really did nail it. I had a lot to choose from when it came for Twice. It was really, for me, a split between this or Perfect World. I think that they nailed that style of the Perfect World had, where it was a bit harder edge, kind of girl crushy, but in a Twice way. But this one is just quintessential Twice. It's bright, it's fun, it's catchy, they look incredible as always, and they sound so great. Chaeyoung's lines are so sassy, so quirky, they hit every single time. Nayeon hits that chest bobbing thing better than literally anyone in the group during the chorus. Mina, of course, as always, the pre-chorus bridge queen. She has some of my favorite vocals in this group. And Jio, the way that she says heart, it's just like a goddamn lightning bolt, as she says. It's so sharp, it hits. I really have grown to love this group, especially this year, and I'm just so stoked to see them in like a month and a half. Can't friggin' wait. They've become one of my favorite girl groups out there, and I've kind of joined everyone else in absolutely loving them and understanding exactly why they're so amazing. So I had a lot to choose from when it came to Twice, but I'm gonna settle on The Feels, and I'd like to know what you guys thought was your favorite Twice song of the year. Next up on the list, we've got an artist who I think really had such a particular artistic vision of what they wanted their song to sound like, the MV to look like, how their packaging of their album was. It's something that I find really admirable when an artist takes their hand at the full release of their work, and you really see it here, and it's just being more emblematic to me of just how incredible that as singular artists these guys are so good that in SHINee as a whole group, like, they're all powerhouses.
Nothing but
Bad Love was such a damn surprise for me. The 80s influence that he has in the song throughout the album, in the MV, in the packaging is like an old school like 80s figure that you would get. I'm the baby of 4 total brothers, so I had a lot of 80s hand-me-downs, so I'm kind of like an honorary 80s kid in some way, and I just love how he kind of captured this. He has an outfit that is very akin to Michael Jackson's Thriller, and I played just now in that clip the ending chorus that extends, and he has that wail that feels so there's so much emotion in it, and the dancing, the choreography, it's so sharp on every beat. The drums sound like they're right out of like a Phil Collins song. I just love the care that was taken in this track, and I see it as being such the vision of the artist here, and it always just raises the bar for me for a song when I know that it's not a team of producers or marketers that really wanted to release this specific thing, but it was the artist's intent to do all this, that it was his particular vision, and I see that with Key, and now he's always going to stand out more to me as I continue my Shiny journey, which is very nascent in its stage, but now he's definitely going to stand out because this was such a fantastic release that it's higher than Taemin, which I would have never expected, honestly. Number 9 is up next, and when it comes to like the top 10 or even top 15 now, these were so interchangeable. I kept switching things all over the place, but I found this definitive order here, and this song, these guys definitely deserve to be in top 10. Released a lot of great tracks this year, and while you may be seeing double a bit with this song, there's absolutely only one Dreamcatcher.
Cause I like you, 눈에 가득 찬 별 나 있어야 나대 천사 같은 날 불러 사랑한단 말아 be Cause I love you Forever love 숨결까지 다 Forever love Cause I love you Forever mine 숨결까지 다 이것도 다시 해주지마
Dreamcatcher's Because is so hypnotic and seductive and has that uneasiness of a lurking evil, which I love in Dreamcatcher's music. I really do, and it's on full force here. The concept takes tons of inspiration from Jordan Peele's movie Us, which I haven't seen before, but has to do with doppelgangers. Video completely exemplifies that in a perfect way. But like I said, it is so hypnotic and kind of lulls you in. The head bob move is just iconic, one of my favorite pieces of point choreo all throughout the entire year. And then you get Xion coming in with like a distorted, heavy filtered vocal on her, moving into like a drum and bass portion, overlaying Dami's rap. Such a great track, and honestly, who would expect Dreamcatcher to come out and release one of the best summer albums, or the best summer album basically of the year, in my opinion. So good, and I'm expecting so much more from them in the future. I think this year is where everyone really took notice of Dreamcatcher. Maybe last year actually it was maybe the start of Scream, but now it's kind of like they're starting to really roll. They've got their first, reality show out there for themselves and everything, and I just want to see this group succeed because they deserve every bit of it. They have so much personality in every single member. One of my favorite groups to watch any kind of variety content of. Number 8 is another one that came out earlier in the year, has been an absolute staple on my gym playlist. I cannot escape this song. I love the energy it gives, the confidence. It's such a fantastic performance. I love the live performance of this song, especially. Everything from the choreo to just the overall attitude of this track is so well done.
Get on my bike, let's go. Get on my way. 보여줄게 how I like it. On my way. It goes like boom, boom, boom. Get on my way. 고개를 들어 넓은 face. On my way. It goes like boom, boom, boom. I'm getting higher. You're tripping lower. And when I say it's done, it's freaking over. And I write it. You like it when I write it. I write it. Give me that.
Chungha's Bicycle, what a powerful song. The sexual innuendo in this, it's so fantastic, but also her rap verse. Who would expect her to go off and absolutely kill her rap verse? I wasn't. I was shocked. The dance break is one of the best dance breaks out there. Usually, as I said before, I don't really like dance breaks thrown in a lot of songs. At least when it's in just the music video, like it is with this one and some others, it's palatable. But even in the music video, this dance break hits so hard. She's such a phenomenal dancer. Also, the music video, not doing a top-ranking music video list, but this would be number one. It is so well done. That last shot of her just rising has such just an empowering image. It's so incredibly cool. I love Chungha. I think she can kind of do it all. It's such a bad bitch anthem, and if I'm ever gonna be talked down to by some idol, it might as well be one of the best visuals, most talented female artists in all of K-pop. I really like this song. I haven't been able to escape it since it came out. I don't know if it's stuck with you guys as much. I feel like this one was another track that was very hit or miss with some people, but she pretty much nailed the bullseye for me. Next up on the list is a group where you ever guys have that kind of feeling to where a new group comes out and you're like, oh, okay, I kind of feel it. Like, I could see where this could be going, but then they have the comeback that absolutely floors you, and you could not be more on board with a group than this. That's kind of how this group falls for me. Pixie's Addicted was like a revelation for me. Oh my god, this song floored me the first time I saw it. I always really liked Pixie's aesthetic, their kind of overall concept, but I'm completely sold with this one. The song especially does girl crush in a way that is just different for me. To where I always look towards groups like Everglow that really feel inherently like girl crush, when then I look at groups like, say, ITZY and Mafia in the Morning. That's a group doing girl crush pretty well, but that isn't them. Whereas I feel like somewhere in the middle is Pixie, where they're super versatile, they can do a bunch of different things, but they nail this specific kind of weird, hard sound really well. Ella is just so incredible, an amazing leader, but also amazing vocalist. Her performance on stage, the choreography of this song, but also watch her facial features during it are just top tier. It's a crime that Cherry Bullet ever let her get away from the group, because she's so incredibly talented along with the other members of this group. This video also funny that it's coming after Chungha's Bicycle in my list, because this would probably be maybe number 2 or 3 in my favorite MVs of the year, coming from a new label, their first group, and they're putting all the money behind them, and it really shows. This video is so freaking fantastic. It's an achievement, I think, when a music video elevates a song to where when you listen to the song in the gym, whatever, that's where I listen to this, honestly, a lot of the time. I'm constantly thinking about their performances during each part. I'm picturing, Dia during the gun cock portion of it and everything. It's just so well done. And if you haven't watched any of Pixie TV yet, I've watched 4 episodes on Patreon so far. Please, I implore you to, because you will not be able to escape this group. It is probably the best behind the scenes videography kind of docu-series like thing I've seen ever of a group, done in a very mature but still fun way that really explores a bit more personality and kind of the emotional levels of these artists that they kind of blow by in a lot of others when groups do them. So please look into Pixie, look at Pixie TV, because this is a group that if you're going to be sticking around to my channel, you're going to be seeing a lot more of. Now, this next group was in my top 10 last year, and here they are yet again at number 6. I don't really think that they know how to write a bad song, have some of the best producers and writers in their group doing the compositions themselves, which always just lends to how much you can really fall for a group when you know it's coming from their hands. And this one was also just on absolute repeat for me when it came out. Pentagon's Do or Not is just it's so Pentagon. that I can't help but absolutely adore it. I love the kind of meaning behind the song, the playfulness of the music video, the energy, that rock influence yet again from this group. His vocals, his compositions, he's so fantastic. I think he's one of the best leaders in K-pop, and not only is this group underrated and just overlooked, but he's overlooked for what he contributes, both like vocally in the group, but also in his production. The production values are always top tier for this group. And I just, with Daisy being one of my favorite songs of 2020, this one is also right up there, obviously, this one at number 6. But this is just so emblematic of this group to me. So do or not, the story in the music video is of a girl that they want, but it's kind of that thing where it's like everyone's chasing the girl in the old school K-pop music videos. It's a whole group of boys trying to get the girl, but this reminds me of one of like, well, hey, either you know, come for me or not, either take my hand or don't, like I got my boys anyway, like fuck it. That's the vibe I get, but it also just makes me think of what they've been through and their journey as a group, and going through Road to Kingdom and all the struggles that we've learned about that they've had to endure, and Cube's, you know, awful handling of all of their groups. And it just reminds me as if it's some kind of parallel to that, where they're trying to win the affection of the masses and do something that will show all their hard work as being a success. But I feel like this song is them saying that, hey, we've got our fans, we've got our loved ones, like we're done trying to appease, or we don't need validation from other people to say that what we're making is worthwhile. It's like, hey, take us or leave us. We've got the fans that are loyal and that love us for what we do, and we're not gonna stray from that just to make you know, the masses happy. And that's kind of the feeling that I get, the sentiment I get from this song. And it feels so Pentagon, and I really love them for that. We have entered the top 5. Woo, top 5. Woo. One of the groups that I've been championing ever since their debut. They've got all the talent in the world to be a top tier group. They have a very specific sound to themselves, in my opinion. Has what I kind of mentioned about Cherry Bullet and their song Love So Sweet, that inherent K-pop sound that kind of drew me to this genre to begin with, and I absolutely love them for it. Weekly's After School. Now, I'm someone who, as I said previously, I come from a past of listening to lots of rock, lots of metal, emo shit, stuff where you're meant to either be angry or sad. So what drew me to K-pop is that I could finally listen to something that kind of just was bubblegum, raise your spirits, fun, good vibes all around, and that is just the essence of Weekly to me. They completely capture the feeling of just youthfulness in this song, and I think it's something that now, with them being, you know, a very young group, they just debuted last year, that is kind of the sound they're going for now, but you see it in all of their songs, just this kind of you can't help but smile kind of thing. Jihan, her vocals are so amazing for being one of the youngest in the group. You have Monday, who has that it girl quality. I swear to God, she should be a superstar in this industry for sure when it comes to her vocals, her visual, her dancing skills. She kind of is the entire package. Soon, this song is kind of what is leaning me towards a Soon bias for sure. Her vocals also amazing. This group also has just fantastic personality in terms of how fun they are in a variety sense, in the behind the scenes stuff. I love them so much. It kind of raises the bar a bit just for how much I really enjoy them alone, apart from the music. It helps also that all of their title tracks, besides Zigzag, I haven't really enjoyed that one too much, but the other 3 have been absolute bangers. So it was kind of a hard choice between After School and Holiday Party for this year, but definitely have to go with After School. The melody of the song is so good. I love a track that nails the outro, and this song has such a beautiful outro. Jihoon sounds so good on it. What a great song. What a damn great song. And it's another one where if you're into these kind of K-pop songs, I know everyone isn't, and for the harder songs that I really like when it comes to K-pop too, it's funny that I also really like the bubbly, bright great girl group ones, but that's kind of what was my entryway into K-pop with like Girls' Generation G. So it brings me back to that, and I can't get enough of this song. Number 4, this song I think started a new era for this group, one that I hope and I've prayed that they never give up because it suits them so well. I just never want them to necessarily leave this sound. And I know people love to see their groups do a lot of different variety and everything, but I've just never seen like peanut butter and jelly. It just works together so well. So I hope they stick with it.
No, it's real, I can feel it. 난 못했던 성이 lost 길이 없었어. 지금도 좋았어. I'm a loser in this game. 세계 유일한 법칙 나를 구해줘. 내 손을 잡아줘. Use me like a drug. I know I love you. Say you love me, say you love me. 세계의 끝까지. All of my fair, I want no love you. Say you love me, say you love me. 세계의 끝까지. All of my fair, I give all love you.
TXT's love song, oh my god, did this ever start a new era, man? Like them having these rock influenced songs, it's like pop rocky, alternative in some ways. I just love this, and they've really carried it from, you know, their repackaged to some of the songs on the B-sides that I've listened to, all kind of have this sound to it, and it just fits them so damn well that I want it to be TXT's sound from now on. Although some of the stuff they've released before this I've also really enjoyed, like Can't You See Me, but it just is so them. Taemin's vocals, that rawness, we don't get enough of those raw vocals at all, and he sounds so amazing bringing in the chorus of the song. Seori sounds so damn good too, working with them on this track. I love everything about it. It floored me when I first heard it. K-pop really does need their own like rock star type group, and I feel like they have the ability to be that with the songs that they've released this year. We had multiple to choose from that would be on here, but this one just beat out Loser, Lover. I always forget the damn name of their songs that they came out with this year because they're so strange, but both of those songs were so damn good, but this one had to take the prize. We're in the top 3, and if you want to talk about total packages, a group that has the visual, the vocals, just the entire aesthetic, the producers behind them being absolute bona fide 10 out of 10s. You've got Yoon, who is a vocal powerhouse. You've got Isa, who has such a unique vocal color. Jae and Sumin, who also have very unique voices. Jae becoming way more confident now whenever she sings live, or just even seeing her in the music videos, you can kind of tell. They just have an aesthetic that I absolutely adore, a confidence about them, a group that I see just on the rise of becoming something big, and I think people have really grasped onto them for that. They've released 2 bangers this year. So Bad I thought was one of the best debuts last year, up with Weekly's Tag Me. So good. Black Eyed Pilsung producing their music just kills it every single time. I love how layered their songs sound. The synths are just used so well. I'm an absolute sucker for anything synth related, and the usage in their songs, I feel like it's just so well done. ASAP also hugely grew on me. One of those songs that really grew on me over the year, and would definitely be on this list if I didn't have that rule for sure. Stereotype beats it out. I think it's more of a complete total package in every facet that it hits. But yeah, this group is just like screaming stardom, and I can't get enough of their content, from, you know, their title tracks to their variety stuff. They've kind of got it all. It girl quality too with Yoon and Jae, I feel like similar to Monday and Weekly. I would love to see a collab of these two groups. I kind of always compare them or liken them to each other because they debuted in the same year, and they kind of give me a similar feel of that quintessential K-pop thing. And Stereotype is pretty much as good of a song as you can release when it comes to doing like your first album, and they nailed it here. We have reached number 2 on the top 30 list. Now, one, I would never believe that one of my favorite songs of the year, number 2, let alone, would have released in January of 2021, nor would it be a group that I was just first checking out, but these guys definitely deserve it.
Like a dream.
Victon's What I Said. This song knocked me on my damn ass when I reacted to it. Please check out that video if you haven't seen it. I just wasn't expecting this much greatness. It has the power of a hard-hitting song. The vocal runs. This has some of the most impressive vocal runs I've ever heard on a K-pop track. It's just almost just... It's hypnotic and alluring in the way that they just ride the damn scales with their voice. So much energy in the song. Do Hanse is one of the best rappers, I think, in the industry. I've checked out ever since seeing this song. I've checked out a lot of their earlier stuff, and you've seen his growth tremendously, and now he has like his own solo project with Take Over and that album. He really, I think, is one of the more underrated rappers in all of K-pop, but this song also checking all the damn boxes and is kind of emblematic of what I like to see out of my boy groups for sure. So Victon, definitely one to look out for in the future. I cannot wait when they have their next comeback, but so damn good. I really enjoyed What I Said. And finally, for number 1, my favorite song of 2021, and it couldn't be more aptly named.
You know that I can fly. I'm the winner. 그래 마지막 순간 fade away. 너를 꽉. 이 세상 어디도 빛은 없다. 거짓에 속지는 말아줘 우리 함께. 보여줄게 본 적 없는 first. 들려줄게 본 적 없는 first. 알려줄게 본 적 없는 first.
Everglow's First is a goddamn masterpiece to me. It is just perfect hype song. I have not gone a single day. If I'm going to the gym, I'm listening to this song. It fuels me with so much energy. I could lift a truck. I could run through a damn wall. This group is Girl Crush. No one does it better than them, bar none, period. And it's kind of been that way for a good bit now. They're not aping Girl Crush. They're not putting on a mask. They feel like this is them when you watch them perform. It might not be, but goddamn, do they perform like it is. Xion, her vocals in this, holy shit, the rise of her vocals, I've completely fallen in love with the way that she sounds. Incredible. Yirin, her energy in this song with the goddamn pigtails. Onda came into her own in this. I feel like this is when everyone stopped and took notice of how incredible she was. Mia, always incredible, one of like the best all-stars in all of K-pop. Has it all from her vocals to her dance. Asha, especially, her tone is so damn unique, and her rapping with EU on this track. I could go on forever about this damn group, but I've really this year taken the next level of absolutely falling in love with them. I know everyone adored La Di Da last year, and you would think with the aesthetic it has and the kind of 80s synthwave leanings that song goes in, it would be absolutely way up my list, but it was an honorable mention last year, whereas here, first, absolutely number 1. They released Pirate, Return of the Girl. That album, one of my favorite albums of the year, has so many hard hitters like Company, 99, so good. I love this group. I really need to check out more variety stuff behind the scenes of them because they've got everything when it comes to the sound for me. They kind of took over where I felt like CLC was trying to get, what CLC was kind of becoming for me. When you look at Hobgoblin, when you look at Me, they kind of had that ferocity, that energy that I was looking for in a girl group, and of course, being Cube, they couldn't, handle them correctly, and that fizzled out. And I feel like Everglow is now taking the mantle of that and just running with it even further and becoming exactly what I wanted CLC to be. And I couldn't be happier for their releases this year. They don't get a lot of play. I know they come from a Chinese label and everything. I say get a lot of play in terms of exposure in some respects, but damn, do they bring in views. Regardless of the marketing and the exposure they get and not being allowed on certain shows when it comes to Korean shows because of that, they still do the numbers, and that's a testament to how damn talented and how good these girls are, how great their song sounds, and man, the dance move at the end of this too, it's just so dirty, it's so grimy, I freaking love it. The song is incredible, this group is incredible, and I cannot wait to see what they've got in store for us in the future. So that is my top 30 list, title tracks / singles of 2021. Again, we've got the B-side list, top 20 B-sides of 2021 coming in the next day or two, so please look out for that. I'll do another live chat like I did with this one so you can watch along with me. But let me know what your lists are. Give me your top 5 or top 10, what have you. Let me know if there's anything that you strongly agreed with or disagreed with on this list, where you would arrange things. Maybe there's songs that I left out that I absolutely need to hear that I didn't, that aren't on this list that you think I would like based off of this list. And yeah, it was a great year. Again, thank you guys so much for the support. I really, really appreciate it. As always, join me on Patreon if you'd like to see extra content, live stages, variety shows, album reactions, extended stuff like Queendom, Kingdom, Road to Kingdom. We're watching Squid Game now. A lot of these groups that you saw here are probably on there in some capacity. My favorite groups usually get precedence, but we got lots of like Mamamoo, lots of Pentagon, tons of other stuff. So please join us on there. Help support my channel either through Patreon or just liking this video and subscribing to be notified when new videos come out. Thank you guys so much. I had a great year with you. Thank you so much for your support, and I'll see you in the next video.